Good morning, everybody. This is Diane. I am filming this on a Saturday morning. It is quite pleasant out. It's been warm during the day, but it gets cool at night, so it makes for pleasant mornings. What I don't like about summer is when it's hot all day and then it stays hot all night. But right now we're having cool evenings. Today I am going to do a video called A Plethora of Pockets. I have 7 different types of pockets going on in these journals. So I don't know if I'll be able to do all 7 in one video, but we will do all 7 pockets either in 1 or 2 videos. I think I have everything pretty much prepped for making them, and I'll only make 1 of each, although I need to have more than that for each journal. So I have my little list here so I don't forget any. As you know, these are the 2 journals I'm working on, 2 different Heidi books. This one was already claimed, and as of the filming of this video this morning, this one has not. I have this little cloth, a page from a cloth book that has these baby goats, and it has to go in this journal. I don't think I had to cut it at all. I just removed it from the book and folded it, and it's perfect size for this journal. So this middle signature is going to get a bonus page. I want to get it in there before I forget. I'm just going to put it right here in the front. It's just so adorable. I'd love to have more cloth children's book pages. All right, let's get into making pockets. I'm going to move the covers out of my way. And the first pocket I'm going to do is right on the front page, and it is just a side pocket created with a journaling card that came with the paper pack that I'm using, which is called Meadow by... I can't remember. But, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Isn't she cute? So I have this one, which is for the Golden Book. And I have my signatures numbered for the Golden Book to make sure I get the pages all in order, because my customer wants all of the pages in the book. And I think I would have done that anyway for Heidi. It's just such a gorgeous book with beautiful illustrations by Corinne Malvern. So I'll remove this for now. And I have these 2 pieces that were cutouts from the paper pack. And I've added a little strip of this brown and gold braid and a piece of eyelet. So let me grab some of those pieces. This is a different eyelet, but it's about the same size, so it should work. I just cut it a little bit wider than the tag. And what did I do with my gold braid? Oh, it's back in the drawer. And I will cut this the same length as the eyelet. So the first thing I'm going to do is sew the card down. And I will sew it on the top and the bottom and this side, and leave this side open. And I want to make sure that I let this corner decoration on the page show. I'm going to put my list somewhere safe. I need to be able to see it to make sure I get all of the pockets in. So I did get my plastic bobbins, and I do have one all wound and ready. It's all ready in case this one starts acting up, which it might, because I did a lot of sewing yesterday. I sewed all the laces on the edges of the pages, and so the bobbin might be running low, which means it'll start acting up. So I have my other bobbin all ready to switch in. Forgot to lengthen my stitch. I always lengthen my stitches when I'm sewing on paper so it doesn't perforate it too badly. There it is. I buried my little scissors. And I will next sew on the eyelet and the braid. Make sure I get it the right way up. And I let the eyelet stick off the page a bit. I've done pockets similar to this on a lot of my journals, making a pocket card on the front page of signatures. I like doing that. And I'm going to use my zigzag for this so it'll catch in more of it. Again, I have to lengthen the stitch. And then I decided I needed to add something else. So I took this little cutout piece. I think I'm going to put this, I moved this image over further than this one. So I'm going to put this on this side. I could glue it down, but I'm going to sew it, and that will reduce the size of the pocket, but it will still be big enough. And it's the same with this. It's sewn right here so that the pocket is actually this big and not this big. But that's still big enough for a tag to stick in there. So once again, I am making journals with a lot of pockets. There's 7 kinds, but that doesn't mean there are 7 pockets in every signature. There's some pockets that aren't in every signature. Back to straight stitch for this. I think there's at least 4 pockets in every signature. Plus 1 on the back cover. Alright, so that one is done. I just have to find something to insert in there. That's pocket number 1. Pocket number 2. Is a fabric pocket with an embroidered piece on it. It's got lace on the top. Again, this is a pocket that you've seen me make before. There are some different kinds in here though, so stay tuned. There's one I find particularly enjoyable that I hope you'll stick around for. It involves eyelets. Okay, so this is just a piece of fabric that I already tore to the right size, and this is a piece of embroidery that was on a baby quilt. My mother actually did that embroidery. The baby quilt was very stained and it was headed for the trash, but I saved it when they were moving. And I've cut a lot of the pieces out of it. I put some in bundles and I kept some to use. I love them. So I'm just zigzag stitching the embroidered piece to the fabric. You could glue it if you don't want to do this. Anything that I'm sewing, you could glue. I like the look of the sewing in the journal, so I do the sewing. I'm cutting all of my threads in this journal. And then I take a little piece of lace and sew it across the top. I like to do that with most fabric pockets because it helps stabilize the top so it doesn't stretch out too much. I don't really need to back stitch because I'm going to sew across that anyway when I sew the pocket to the page. So isn't that pretty? I love those colors. So this page has more text and just a little bit of the illustration. So I'm going to put it on this page, on this side of the page. So it depends on, you know, where the illustrations lie and all of that, if I'm putting it on a book page. Yeah, it is time to change the bobbin. I could tell that that's how low the bobbin gets, and then it won't act right. So we're going to try the plastic one. It should be good at first anyway because the bobbin is full, but hopefully when it gets low, it will still be good. And I'm gonna restitch this last portion because the tension is not good and it's probably too loose. I don't want to do it on that side of the page. Well, now that is really bouncing around in there, which is what my metal ones do when they get low. I don't understand why it bounces like that. I think that might be why I went back to my metal bobbins to begin with. Oh, keep dropping it. I've dropped it 3 times. Okay. Where's my... I know there's a thread in the needle. There it is. All right, I don't know, I hope this works. So there's the fabric pocket. This came off of something. I'll save it till I know where it goes. The next pocket is the eyelet pocket. It's not a pocket made out of eyelet lace. It is a cardstock pocket with eyelets in it. So let me show you how I do that. I wanted to have some element in these journals that had ribbon laced through some sort of eyelet because of the bodices in the Swiss traditional costumes. Oh, I don't have one of those in. This is one that's not in every signature. It's in 2 of the signatures. So I have one prepped for this signature. There it is. So this one will be yellow. So here's what I did. I cut a piece of cardstock. It's just it's a off-white and it's got speckles in it, but that doesn't matter because I stamped over it anyway. It's like, I don't know, it's from Stampin' Up. And I cut it at 3 inches and then used a scallop edge punch. And then I used a lace background stamp and stamped it. And I cut a piece of yellow to go behind it. The other one was blue, if you noticed. And it's a little bit bigger. So I had to cut this shorter than the page so that I could cut this piece to match the page and have a border all around it. And then I punched holes. So I guess it's better here, maybe. So there are holes in each corner and then a hole in the center of each end and then 3 more holes here. And I've already punched them with my little 1/8 inch punch. So they're ready. So now what I have to do is put the eyelets in, and I'm sorry, but it will get a little noisy. Where'd my eyelets go? Because I use a hammer to put my eyelets in. Got my little metal plate. I've got my yellow silk embroidery ribbon. There's my hammer and my setting tool. I think that's all I need besides my eyelets. So I just have to pick out what eyelets I want to use. Sorry for the noise. I'm making it all yellow. The other one was blue on blue on blue. So this one will be yellow on yellow on yellow. I'm going to pour a few out because I have trouble getting them out of the box with my fingers. Alright, so we've got everything we need. I will just put an eyelet from the front to the back. Put my setting tool in there. You can look up eyelet setters on Amazon to find a little kit like this. And so there are 9 9 eyelets on each card. So I'm sorry, I should have had some of these already set, but I didn't. I put in a lot of time getting these pockets prepped. And I did it yesterday, planning to do this video yesterday, but I had forgotten to charge a battery for my camera. So while the battery was charging, I went ahead and sewed all the lace on the pages and sewed the fabric flip and stuff like that. And by then, I was too tired and my back hurt, so I didn't do the video. So I'm doing it this morning. So my back still hurts. I mowed my lawn yesterday, and which isn't that hard. And I, did some cleaning. We only have 4 more. And then in the evening, I ironed the pieces that I had gotten, the linen pieces. I had ironed the linen pieces that I got at the flea market and some fabric pieces. I had washed them, and they've just been sitting in a pile in my laundry room. Waiting for me to iron them. I skipped one. So I did that last night. And my back was already sore. I need a new mattress. I had to give away my queen size bed and mattress because my new house doesn't hold it. The bedroom is too small for that. There, we're done with the pounding. Thank you for putting up with that. So I wake up with a sore back most mornings, and sometimes it stays sore all day. So I really need to look into a mattress, but I'm worried about getting a new mattress because how do you know? You spend a lot of money, and how do you know until you actually sleep in it? You can lay down on it, but you still don't know. So I'm getting a needle. So anyway, after all of that activity yesterday, and I did a lot of working on these journals yesterday too. I woke up hardly able to move today. I can't even stand up straight. I'm hoping it'll loosen up. It's still early. So I just threaded my silk ribbon through this needle because that'll make it a lot easier to do what I need to do here. And I've got a knot in this ribbon now. There, got the knot out. Now we're ready. So I start at one end and go in the back and hold a piece down. And I try to keep the ribbon straight. I'll have to keep straightening it out as I go. And I just kind of go in and out. And the ribbon will want to twist. At first, the first time I was going to just let it twist. I thought that would just add to it, but I decided I didn't like that, so I straightened it all out. Even on the back, it just helps keep the rest of it straight if I keep the back part also straight. So I think the most time-consuming part of this is keeping the ribbon straight. And go in and out. But it's really not hard. It just adds a nice effect to the Heidi book. This one really wanted to twist. And it doesn't want to twist back. Okay, got it. And, oh, that is not what I wanted to do. I got caught up in what I was doing, and I forgot. How did I do the other one? Now I can't remember. But I didn't start. Yeah, I guess I did. Okay. Sorry. We just wasted time. Now I'm all tangled up. I don't want to unthread the needle. Oh, but I might have to get this untangled more quickly. There we go. What I wanted to do was cut the ribbon when I got to the center hole. Whoops, I just unthreaded the needle anyway. Oh my. Okay, so here's the center hole. I want to cut it, but leave enough that I can tie a bow. Okay, we're threaded again. We're back in business. So I'll start again at the other end. Whoops, coming up from the bottom. And then do what we did. Untwisting as we go. And up through the top, in the middle. There we go. We are ready. I'm gonna take that needle out. We are ready to tie the bow. You could glue the ends down first if you want to make sure you're not pulling out, but I think we're safe. So this really isn't hard. I just made it a little harder because I got carried away and went too far with my lacing. Cut the ends of the ribbon as small as you want them to be. And don't forget your ends back here. I'm just going to take a little Fabri-Tac and put a little dab right here. And then lay this piece down in the Fabri-Tac. You can trim that excess ribbon off. And that will hold that in place. So there we have that. We're almost done with this pocket now. That was the hard part. Now, I don't want to sew the pocket down because of the eyelets. So I'm just going to take my Fabri-Tac again and glue the pocket to the base. Well, this isn't the pocket. I did not make it a double pocket because of the ribbon back there. I didn't want that to keep getting messed up or caught on anything. So the yellow part is actually the pocket. And now I can sew this on. It's a little bit long, just a tiny bit. So I'm going to just trim a tiny bit off at both ends. Oh, I wasn't quite done with the decorations on this. So this is another piece from the cut apart page that comes with the kit. I want to say Meadow is by Authentique. I think that's what it is. And I have this stamp with that design I thought would go well with the alpine theme of the journal. I sewed this on the first piece, but, well, I could, but there's glue, and the glue's wet, and I don't want to wait. So I'm just going to stamp this little border strip right there. And I will just glue this piece on. For a little more decoration. Whoops. Alright, now let's see if this sewing machine will work. And I did it the wrong way. Oh boy. Well, I'm going to sew it on this way. Straight stitch. Jumping in there. Seems to be sewing okay, it's just jumping. I'll have to take it, although they said they don't know if they can fix it because I got it at a big box store. Guess you have to buy the really, really expensive ones from the quilt shops. Okay, so this goes, I did it all completely wrong. This was supposed to be on this page. But, oh man, I am messing up. Oh no, I did it right. I did it right. At least that part was right. I think I'm a little too focused on my sewing machine bobbin. can't remember which. I think it was out of this book. Goes in here. Okay. So it's really not as complicated as I made it seem, but I wanted the scallop part to be over here and the bow part to be over there, but it doesn't really matter. It looks fine that way. The next pocket is the Polaroid pocket, and I did a video on that already. I made these tuck spots. I used a Polaroid die cut, a die, to cut it out of wallpaper. Let me try that again. I used a Polaroid die and cut a piece of wallpaper with it, and then I made this tuck spot, and I have a video on it. This is fabric behind here, a Tim Holtz doll, a little bit of trim, and a label. So I already have the Polaroid pocket made, and again, this one is only going to be in 2 signatures. The middle one has a different type of pocket. Oh, and I already sewed it on there. So, and because her feet are hanging off the bottom, I raised it up, so I didn't want her feet sticking out the bottom of the book. Her elbow sticks off the page, but that's okay because I don't think it will extend beyond the borders of the book. So that one's already done. There's a video, I will link the video if I remember, of how I made that pocket. Put this back where it belongs. And then the next pocket is this one. I used an image from a book page and added some of my really pretty braid trim. I got a lot of really pretty braids and trims from Eve, who happens to live in Switzerland, and Heidi is set in the Swiss Alps. So I thought it was perfect. So let me just show you some of these. This is the one that's on that pocket I just showed you. Some of them are bigger than others. I wanted the littler ones for these pockets, but these are great. I think not all of these are from Eve. I got this one at a flea market, but some of them are. So thank you, Eve. I'm finally using them. I've been hoarding them. I have used them some. All right, so this is one that came off and I was wondering where it belonged. This is the fabric pocket that's going on, or the book page pocket, I call it, because it has an image from a book page. So this is from another little children's book. It had a picture of a goat, and I had to use that. But I didn't want him just hanging out there in green space. So I gave him a meadow of daisies. And this is from a paper pad that I just got at Joann's. Yes, I got to go to Joann's and Hobby Lobby. My daughter and I went. And they had, in the clearance section, they had quite a few pads of double-sided paper. And I bought 3 of them, plus a Tim Holtz pad of, I forgot the name of it now, but it's the masculine one. Dapper. So I picked that up, and it was $6. So these were all $6. So anyway, I like to get the double-sided cardstock pages to use in junk journals. But this particular pad actually had pages that were perfect for the Heidi Smash book. It has goats, pictures of goats on it, some of the pages, and lots of flowers. So anyway, I already cut my Smash book pages, so I used a scrap. Sorry, sewing machine. I used a scrap to make this. I left it a wide part at the top so that I have room for my braid. So I will sew this on and then add the braid trim. This is the piece I selected. Make sure I have the right side to go with this, and then I'm going to add some buttons. And I already have the buttons prepared. If I can remember where I put them. There's one. Should be an orange one. Got shoved out of the way. Here it is. Goodness. So I have buttons that I selected to go with the colors. There's green and there's orange, and I chose a yellow one. And I put some beige embroidery floss through them and tied them already, so you wouldn't have to watch me do that. I'm going to use my Crystal Effects. Oh, my back. This is Glossy Accents. Glossy Accents. Crystal Effects is the Stampin' Up! Brand. But I have Glossy Accents. I'm going to use that to adhere the buttons down. This works really well for metal and plastic pieces. Oh, I can't do that until after I sew the pocket down. I'm just going to glue the pocket down. Because I can't remember what's on the other side of the page. I'm going to do the pocket that's on the other side of the page before I glue this down, because it is this. So on the first signature I had the Polaroid, but in the middle signature I'm just doing a Rita Donnelly flip. Rita Donnelly is the crafter who came up with this idea to have the corner pocket that flips up and you can write inside and you can still tuck something in there. So you just cut a square piece of paper, any size, whatever size fits on your page. I believe this is 4 inches. And I glued coffee dyed paper on the inside and then just fold it over like that. And you have to make sure if it's got a design, like one-way design, make sure you fold it right, because I had to do it over. First time I did it, it would have been fine over in this corner, but I wanted it in this corner. So I had to figure out how to fold it the proper way. And I am just going to sew it here and here. Don't sew this part down at all. Normally you can decorate, do whatever you want to here. I had all kinds of decorations, lace, whatever. I'm just going to leave this one because I want the goats to show. And this paper, that goat paper, is also from that collection that I just bought at Walmart or Joann's. Straight stitch. There we go. That was as quick and easy pocket. Okay, what's next? Let's do the library pocket. That's going to be, here it is, that's going to be on the back page of the book. Or the back cover, I mean. Oh, let's not get ahead of yourself. Let's finish gluing this pocket down. I only have 2 more pockets to do. We're doing great. Of course, then I have to go back and make all the rest of them to go in the rest of the signatures, but I just wanted to show you one of each type of pocket. Okay, now, I'm not sure where the completed library pocket is to show you, but we'll just go ahead and make one. Let me see if it's here. Nope. Okay. So I took one of my high back library pockets. These are in my shop. A set of 10 with 10 library cards. So I just took one of each of those and inked around them. And I want to leave this plain. I can't remember if I decorated the top. I'm going to look for that library pocket over on this other side of the table. Well, I don't see it right now. I have to do some cleaning, but if I have to add something to the top, I will later. But for this library card, I'm going to add a little stenciling. So I have this wildflower stencil from Tim Holtz. I'm just getting a paper to put under it, getting my ink. Sorry, I'm moving a little slow because my back hurts. And I forget, and I get up out of my chair. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Just using vintage photo, which is what I used around the edges. So that just gives a nice little extra touch to the card. So as far as I'm concerned, the card is done. You could do more embellishment on it. I wanted to leave it simple so that you can write on it. You can also write on this. So then I took a little piece of coffee dyed scrapbook paper, just a scrap of it, and cut it. I can't remember the size of that. I measured the size of the pocket and then cut this just a little smaller. And I will add this little ticket that came with the paper pad. Just going to sew the ticket on and then glue everything down. I'm going to, actually I'm just going to glue because I'm going to add this to the bottom. So it will be like this. Okay, so we're just going to glue. And then we have one more pocket to do. And it's another fun one that you don't see a lot of, if any. This is just a piece that I had stamped, punched out, inked, and stamped that piece, and I've just had it in my stash. I like to have a bunch of things like that in my stash that I can grab because I'm probably not going to take the time to make little pieces like that while I'm making a journal. So this will get glued onto the back inside cover of the journal. Lastly, oh, here's the pocket. Oh, that's what I did. I knew there was something up there. I stamped a butterfly, and I've got that right here. This came with the same stamp set as that little border that I used. It's from Graphic 45. I don't know the name of the set. Somebody sent it to me, and it has children playing, swinging, stuff like that. So those are the two library pockets. I don't remember which book. I think maybe it's a pocket because I only used 2 of these in 2 signatures. So there is another signature that has a different type of pocket. This is one that this is a bonus pocket in this. It's a belt that I got at a flea market. And I thought that those colors, oh, this came off. Those colors were great for these Heidi journals, so I just cut a piece off, and the glossy accents takes longer to dry than Fabri-Tac. So I'm going to set this piece aside and let the buttons dry. Now I need to find my last set of here it is. So this is similar to the Rita Donnelly flip with the paper, but it's made with fabric and it doesn't flip. But it is made with a square of fabric that you fold over into a triangle shape. It doubles the fabric and makes it a little sturdier. And I just position them so that they're angled different ways, and it's really fun. And you can just put little tags in there. So I thought that was a really fun project to add into the journal. So that is the one for that journal, and so I think it's in the center signature number 2 of the Golden Book journal. And these are the pieces. I've got them already cut to size or torn to size, and it's quite easy to make. Just need to find my daisy trim. Here it is. I think I'll just use the white daisy trim on this color fabric. So I took 3 daisies for each pocket. Take one of your squares and fold it into the triangle shape. Kind of finger press it, the crease. So make sure you have them going the right way before you sew your daisy trim to it, or whatever trim you're going to use. See, this edge is quite frayed, and I don't want to stitch onto this where it would pull out, so I'm going to get rid of the fringy stuff, just to make sure I'm actually sewing on fabric and not threads. So that made it a little bit shorter on that end, so I'm just going to trim there because it does have to be square. Okay. And I will have, so I have this one down in the corner, so I'll just flip this one around and have it there and finger press that. And then I will sew my daisies right there. Wonder if I had 4 daisies on the other. Oh, because these are bigger. It's a bigger book. Let's see how 4 daisies looks. Yeah, we'll go with 4 daisies. I can save these for something else. Now let's sew. I'll sew the daisies on. And now I will sew the pockets on. You could glue them. The one that's going to hang out up here is going to cause stitching on the back side.